Hi, thank you for watching Viva's Canadian Journey. My name is Habiba. If this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. It's very easy to do so. Hit the subscribe button somewhere on top and don't forget to press the bell icon. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about some things you should really look at if you want to come and study in Canada. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because there's an institution here in Nova Scotia. I'm not going to mention their name. And this institution, they have a lot of international students coming every year. Now, these international students, they come, and when they're done studying, they realize that they cannot get their postgraduate work permit. So they spend 10, 15, 20,000 Canadian dollars. That's what, close to 20 million naira, if we're talking in Nigerian terms. Okay, and then they realize that they cannot get their postgraduate work permit because the institution is not a designated learning institution. So I'm doing this video because some of these people reached out to me and said, "Oh, Biba, what do I do now?" I'm like, you should have done your due diligence. So let's talk about some of the things you should be looking at if you're coming to study in Canada as an international student, so you don't fall victim to some of these colleges and universities. Let's get started. Now, if this is your first time watching, don't forget to subscribe. It's very easy to do so. There's a button somewhere. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon. So anytime that I drop a video, you'll get an alert to watch the video. So some of you reached out to me to talk about studying in 2025. And like I said, this is the peak period where if you're in your home country and you want to come and study in Canada, this is when people start applying. This is when universities and colleges here in Canada start receiving applications from international students, okay? Now, the norm usually when people are going to want to study in Canada is people reach out to me and like, "Oh, Biba, do a video on the most affordable colleges or the most affordable universities." And this request is legit because you're coming from your home country. International study is not cheap. So while you should be thinking about the cost of study, that is very, very important. Don't get me wrong. There are other things you should also be thinking about. So I will put list of some colleges and universities that are the most affordable in Canada and that are also accredited. That's very, very important. Don't just look at affordability. Look at the fact that they are accredited universities and colleges. If not, you'll come, spend money, and then that's it. You'll have to go back to your home country. But other things you should be looking at. Now, I like to be really honest with people. When you are coming to study as an international student, you have the option of the UK, the US, Australia, New Zealand. One of the main reasons why people choose Canada, it's because there's the opportunity that when you finish studying, you get your postgraduate work permit, and then you can start working and transition to a permanent residency, and in a few years, get your Canadian citizenship. Let us be honest, that's one of the main reasons, because you have other options, okay? But Canada offers one of the fastest when you come as an international student. So Canada offers one of the fastest paths from international students to work permit to PR to citizenship. I know international students. I personally know of international that came here 7, 8 years ago and are now Canadian citizens. So this is the main reason why people come and study, because if it's just for education, you can get that in the US, you can get that in the UK, you can get that, so now you don't want to mess your chances up, right? Canada has changed a lot of things in terms of the study pathway. So when you're coming, one of the things you should be looking at is what to study. I know a lot of people, we have these dreams and plans of studying this and that, but can we please be, should I say, is the word realistic now? Because there's some courses that you study, programs and pathways that you study Once you're done, yes, you get your postgraduate work permit, but getting a job will be easier. There are some in-demand occupations in Canada that Canada is trying to fill. One of them is construction right now. Okay, so if you have a background or you want to come and study it, in fact, what Canada is doing right now is that if you're already in Canada on a work permit and you want to study construction, anything in the construction industry, because there's a housing crisis in Canada, we need people to build houses and build facilities. So if you're working in Canada on like a temporary work permit and you want to go get a certification in construction, you don't even need to apply for a study permit. You fill out some forms and it is given to you automatically. That is if you are already in Canada. So look at in-demand sectors in Canada so that by the time you're done studying and you apply, in fact, sometimes the employers are looking and waiting for you. They just want you to have that Canadian certification or Canadian paper, Canadian degree. It's really, really important. I know we all have ambitions of dreams of what we want to study and what we want to become, but if your goal is to come, study, get your postgraduate work permit, get a good job, get your PR, etc., then you have to be thinking, beyond that. So that's really important. I'm also going to put a link with the in-demand sectors in Canada. These sectors are going to be in demand for the next 2 to 5 years. Education is one of them. Healthcare is one of them. Canada needs healthcare workers, not just doctors and nurses. CCAs are needed. Physiotherapists are needed, okay? So please have this at the back of your mind, okay? I'm not going to say courses you shouldn't study, but I'm just going to say you should be thinking differently. Another thing to consider is the colleges. I know a lot of us we love the colleges. Nothing wrong with that because they are more affordable. And one of the things the colleges offer is that their courses you can finish faster. The pathway is faster. So universities might do a program for 2 or 3 years and you can get a college doing it for 12 to 18 months. Okay, I made a video about the advantages of colleges a couple of years ago. I'll put that in the link if you want to just get some information. But right now, a lot of colleges are losing their accreditation. Colleges in Ontario, a lot of them are in trouble because they haven't been doing their due diligence with international students. So the government is taking their licenses away from them. You want to avoid those colleges. Okay, there's an article about it. I will look for it. I'll also put it in the description of this video. Yes, they are more affordable. You can finish in 12 to 18 months. They give you the flexibility of, it's not all day. Some have the online option. Some also have the option of doing it weekends and evenings so you can work and balance it. But the question is, are they accredited? Are they designated licensed institutions? Are they about to lose their designation? Thousands of international students got stuck last year because they had applied to these colleges. They had actually started schooling in the colleges and then the colleges lost their accreditation. Okay, and it's the people that paid the price ultimately were these international students. You lose your study permit, you lose your schooling, you lose your funding. I'm not sure the schools are going to refund. So you want to be really, really careful because you should just have at the back of your mind that at the end of the day, the goal is a postgraduate work permit, is a work permit, is a PR. So you should be thinking differently. Okay, this is really, really important. Again, I'm not playing down the fact that finance is a major issue. If you do not have the right funds in your account, the visa officer will not even give you your study permit. But while you're thinking of the finances and all of that as well, be thinking long-term and the future. Very, very important. I know that for Nigerian international students, there are some organizations that offer study permit loans that you can use. Interest is quite high, but it's something you should also weigh. So these are things you should really, really put in mind. Number one, what you're going to come and study. Status quo is no longer status quo, it's no longer business as usual. Construction in high demand, agriculture, farming in high demand. And these are courses in Canada that you need to get like licensing, and it's not just as easy as coming to say, oh, I was a farmer in Kaduna State. No. You need to, be accredited in Canada. So think about those courses. Think about the long-term healthcare as well, very important. And make sure the college or the institution is designated. There's an institution here in Nova Scotia, I'm not going to mention their name, but they're not a designated institution. But a lot of international students go to that institution. Then when they finish, they now realize they're not eligible for postgraduate work permit. And I get a lot of messages, Biba, what can I do? What can I do? I'm like, you should have done your due diligence before. So you've spent 15, 20, 30,000 Canadian dollars. Yes, you've gotten the certification, but then what next? You cannot get your PGWPs. So please, it's very important. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to put a question in the comment section and I will respond. If you want, if you have a personal question, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and send me a message and I'll respond when I can. Until next time, keep watching Biba's Canadian Journey. Keep doing your research about coming to study in Canada. Ask questions. It's very important. Thank you very much.